Close your eyes, palms together. Seek the blessing from the Guru, God, and all the teachers. Once you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, today we are going to see the Shukran remaining bhavas. Before that, as usual, we'll see the Kocharam first. Okay, today's Kocharam. Rahu in the Meena, Guru in the Rishabha, Mangal in the Mithuna, Ketu in the Kanya, Chandra in the Dhanu, Surya and the Buddhan in the Makara, Shukra, Sani in the Kumbha. You see this, the peoples who are having the Dhanush Rashi, then it's Lagna at the Dhanu in as the 8th house or the 6th house. This is the wonderful day to watch them, how their emotions are going, how their emotions are wavering or it was in the saturated level or not. This is the wonderful day to test on ourselves. Okay, let's move into the Panjab. Today is the Dwadasi followed by the Triyodasi. Nakshatra Jeshta followed by the Mula. And one more thing, when the Chandra was when the Chandra is moving in the Gocharam on your Chandra, especially on your birth star, it's a perfect day to understand yourself. Understand yourself means how your emotions was moving. Is that was in a saturated level or it was overwhelming yourself in your emotions or not? This is the perfect day. The combination is Chandra over your Chandra, particularly your birth star is also on that same day. The Yoga, Vyagada followed by the Harshana, Karana, Gaulava, Thaitala, Garaja. Weekday is the Ravivara, Paksha is the Krishna Paksha. Okay. From this week onwards, we are going to do the revision part in a little bit different way. We are going to see the horoscope. Someone was saying last week he's going to share the date of birth. Anybody want to share the date of birth? I don't know who he is. I forgot his name also. Anybody want to share the date of birth, or I can choose random, whichever is easy.
Yeah, I can give you mine, Satish.
Yeah. Second.
Satish,
Okay,
May 10th December.
Names.
Name Satish. Male.
Age.
58.
Yeah. Date of birth.
10/12/1965.
10 December 1960. Correct? 10th December, right?
Yes, ma'am. Place of birth,
Time of birth.
7. 7:16 p.m. 7:16 p.m.
So now the next few steps we have to follow from the. So let me open the journal for us.
You want the Lagna?
We'll verify that with you. Give me a few minutes.
Okay, sure.
I share the journal for us. Your details are correct. December 10, 1965.
Yes, ma'am.
7:60 p.m.
Yeah.
10 9. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's verify from you. Your Lagna is the Mithuna Lagna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Rashi also Mithuna Rashi.
Yes, ma'am.
Guru is a retrograde. You can call me Vanita. I'm grateful to you. Guru is a retrograde and Rahu is in the 12th house.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
6th house you have retrograde Mercury, Sun and the Ketu. 7th house Mars, 8th house Venus, 9th house it was Saturn. Is it correct, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For the today's chart, we are going to see one. Usually, when you have the horoscope in your hand, the peoples will generate the your Rasi chart, that is your birth chart, followed by the Navamsha also. The Navamsha will see that in later days, not now. So
Okay.
today we are going to compare only two charts. One is the your Rashi chart, and another one is the Bhava chart.
Chalita.
Bhava chart means how your Bhavas was extending or not, or it's only is that the first Bhava is extended to the second Bhava or not. We can see that in the Bhava chart. So we are going to have the two charts now from you based on the details which we retrieved from the Jataka, display based on the time of birth, place of birth, and the date of birth. So we retrieve the two charts. One is the Rashi and another is the Bhavachali. Usually, this is a little bit different. When you go and see the horoscope astrologers, they will generate two charts for you. In your horoscope, you can easily see the Navamsha and birth chart followed by the Navamsha. Definitely, you will see the Navamsha later, not now. So now we are going to consider these two charts. Okay.
Okay.
One is birth chart. In 1 second. And another is his posture.
Anita, can you please mute everyone?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, looks like mute for me again. Okay, it did, I guess. Yeah. Now some bit ready to go. Wait a second. Okay, there are the few things we have to come back to Jagannath Pura one more time. But before that, what are the other things we have to confirm with him? Is Nakshatra is the Ardra. Is that correct? Satish?
Yeah, it's correct. I think I muted it. Ardra is correct.
Okay. Once we understand from him, the most of the time when you receive the details from the Jataka, confirm him's Lagna and the Rashi. That's a must.
Okay.
Most of the time, I already told you there is a Ayanamsha difference will be there. The softwares give you the different chart generation. Particularly the people who born on in between the time, there are the times will come. It goes on here, and another software will generate the Lagna is in the Mithuna. The other software will generate in the Rishabha Lagna. So that's kind of the difference will be there. So better you have to check with the Jataka itself, is this the correct Lagna or the Rashi or not. So once we confirm that, and now back to.
And what Ayanamsa we do you use, ma'am? Here?
I'm using the Lagri only.
Lahiri, okay.
Lagri is looks like it looks like it's good. I'm familiar with that nowadays.
Okay, ma'am.
There are the other people who use a different Zainamsa. Whichever is whenever you are practicing, somewhat in your experience you will find out, okay, this is the work for me or not.
Okay.
So maybe because most of my teachers was using the Lagri, I followed the same thing. So I still now I'm using the Lagri.
Okay.
Can you just give a brief on this Ayanamsha? What you just
So it was really a vast area. I will tell you that Zainamsa later and
no,
definitely.
just brief. Yeah, just brief.
The
It's some
calculations only.
calculation part. Okay.
Calculations only. Whenever your Lagna was here, how they are calculating that? It is based on the sun all your birth chart is based on the Rashi chart is based on the sun when it was rising. So based on that calculation, there is a little bit difference between the calculations. Sometimes it is going forward, sometimes it's going behind. There is a bit difference in the calculation. We no need to go into the nitty-gritty of that. Most of the time, it was really a complex calculation. If time permits, I will definitely tell you what is Ainamsha will do. But at the brief introduction, use the Lagari for now. Later point in time, when you are experienced really well, you find that no, Lagari is not working for me. I'm going with a different Ainam. So go ahead with that. Because when you are energy level and the chart in front of you, that energy level which matches, then that will give you the different answers from the cosmos. That will be a different story altogether. So currently at the time beginning of the practice, try with the Lagri Ainamsha first. If it is not working, go ahead and free to modify that later point in time. Okay. We'll see that Ainamsha later on. So I skip that part now. Okay, based on the information which we derived from him, we generated the chart as well. So we know his Lagna is the Mithuna Lagna. We confirmed him also that was the Mithuna Lagna Stasi also Mithuna Rasi. Okay, here comes the interesting part. Dasha Buddhi Antar will have to Dasha Buddhi Antar we have to define this one first. You have any idea what is your Dasha Buddhi and Antar?
Oh, I'm not sure, ma'am. I think it's Sukradasa is going on, like Venus. The Mukti, I don't know.
Okay. Give me a second.
I normally don't go too deep into my astro chart.
What is it?
Is that
And normally I don't go too deep into my chart.
Are you into Punarvasu Nakshatra?
No, Midina, sir.
Are you born in Punarvasu?
Midina.
Which
Like he's asking
nakshatra?
about which
Which
Rasi, which
nakshatra is this?
Ardra.
Aradra.
Nakshatra.
Ardra, okay. Then it's not Shukra yet. How you're not 50, right? Are you 50?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Age is given.
Your audio is breaking, Sir Murli.
Oh, okay. My signal is not clear. Okay. I'll talk later.
Give me a second. Most of the time, I didn't use the Jagannath Hora nowadays. I used with the Parashara. Give me 1 minute. That's the easiest way to find out the Dashabhuti and the easiest for me. So I quickly go with that. Give me one.
It's going to take time.
Last
I'll
week,
try pull it out from my charts, man. No issues.
no problem. Give me a second.
He's running Venus.
For me, Venus. Okay, give me a second. Somewhat I find it very difficult to find the Dashabhuti answer in the Jagannath Hora. I don't know why. Most of the time I felt like that.
If you look at Lahari Ainamsa, he's still in Ketu Dasa until what? Until
I'm done.
until 30th of Jan.
Give me a second. I'm also done. Yes, see, get me check this first. Okay, here you go. Is this the same thing you are also having or different?
Yeah, if you go by Lahari, then it is Ketu, the last one, Ketu Mercury.
Yeah, Ketu Dasha, Mercury Buddhi, and the Saturn is the
I think Satish is using Raman, so hence he is in Venus.
That day, doctor was telling those. That's why I'm not going into it deeply.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that was Dr. Sir was using the Raman. I don't know.
B.V. Raman, he
Dr.
used.
Bala is using Raman. Venkat is also using Raman.
Mm-hmm. No,
Okay,
somewhat
then
I
it's Ketu Dasa only happening. Yeah.
So technically, Satish is in Dasa Santi.
can see. So everybody can see the Vimshatari Dasha, right? Okay, how you can compare against, right? Whatever the things which is happening in your life, if it is matches with this Dasha Buddhyanta, you feel that is exact, that Ayanamsha was exactly matching with you. Most of the horoscope which I saw and exactly matching with the Lagrian Ayanamsha. If I say something in the round, somewhat I don't know, it possibly I couldn't analyze anything. Somewhat it was going here and there. So I stick with the Lahiri only. So it's go with whichever it's easy for you, whichever you feel like, okay, this is it for me. Okay. Now I'll consider him Ketu Dasha, Mercury Anta, and
If the
sorry.
bhukti changes so much depending on the system we follow, then how will we know that which is the accurate one?
Okay, the one interesting thing I understand from the astrology was when you go more accurate, the nothing will come into your hand. So Shunya is an answer, but somewhat the world is working on approximation only. Go with an approximation. Somewhat, if you go deeper, one level deeper, right? At the end of the day, you will find out nothing only. That's the
No.
precise
Coming to this
answer.
specific case, where going by one lahari or so, it says Shukra Dishe, Shukra Bhukti or what, and the other one says Ketu. So how do we know that which one is to be followed or which is the accurate nearest to accuracy prediction?
Compare your incidents in your life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you ask the Jataka, whichever the incident which is going on, okay, this is the Ketu Dasha was happening for you, and you say him, okay, this is the incident you are happening in your life. So most of the time, the Jataka will tell you, okay, this is the precise problem I'm having in my life. Then you can easily understand when the Ketu Dasha was happening, some of the things won't happening in your life. You feel like you are inclined towards the knowledge, inclined towards the some of the spiritual things. So when the Venus Dasha was starting, you were happily involved in the day-to-day life, especially, and you want to do everything in a decorative way, and you want to enjoy everything. Whatever the thing which is happening in your life, you enjoy the life moments. But when the Ketu Dasha was happening, you feel like spiritually inclined, or you feel like you don't like you interested to let go of everything. So there was the emotions. You check with them, they will tell you clearly. Okay, I'm in that state. And then they will tell you, no, I'm not in that state. I'm enjoying my life. I'm happy about my life. I'm preparing for my marriage. I'm in a romance. I want to be involved in a romance. So when you heard from that word, you can easily understand, okay, this is working for them. So little bit approximation only, obviously, but it's not an exact. Don't go with too much exact one. That's what I understand. Go with an approximation. Most
Maybe
of the
we can
time.
ask Satish. Satish, how prosperous are you now?
Actually, it's not like that. I was supposed to be getting so many things, but they didn't happen. So probably the next phase, Sukradesa could be helping out. Probably. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So,
We'll see
okay,
that.
we keep our life events as the reference to decide which suits our
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
outcome better.
Your best thing
Thank
would
you.
be if you are married, you can check when you got married, when that incident happened, or it was an accident.
Okay.
Uh,
Some already happened incidents,
Yes.
fixed incidents. Okay.
Yes. You could
Thank
have somebody could have met with an accident also. Somebody could have got a great job abroad. So you have certain market incidents
major
that helps.
milestones in life.
Yes.
Okay.
Vanita,
Hmm.
Vanita, it's a very bit confusing. You know what the Dasha Bhukti different Dasha Bhukti, Mercury Bhukti, Shukra Bhukti, so many are there. So how will come to know which Dasha Bhukti, what will happen? That is not so far. I don't think it will be.
Okay, wait a second. Don't get
That
into the word which, okay, don't get into the word of the Dasha Buddhi under too much. They're also Graha only. we already learned about all the 9 planets, all the Navagrahas. We know somewhat, at least we know at least 5 points we know about the Ketu. What the Ketu will do, what the most significance of the Ketu. Ketu will provide most of the obstacles in your life. It have a tendency to let go of anything. It's spiritually inclined. So most of the time we know about the planets. We already learn about the planets, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
We know about the Ketu, we know about the Mercury, we know about the Saturn, we know about all other Navagrahas. So when that Buddhi Dasha, Buddhi Antar was happening, remember that points and apply that points in the Dasha, Buddhi Antar. So then one important point here you have to notice, when the Dasha, Buddhi Antar you are seeing, don't give importance to the Dasha, give importance to the Buddhi. It was like the Buddhinathan is greater than Dasanathan. The Buddhinathan power is too much than the Dasanathan. So for him, right, when the Ketu Dasha was happening, the Mercury Buddhi was going on. So what are the Mercury norm? Don't think about the Dasha Buddhi now, just think about the Mercury only. Tell me about the Mercury. Any few points. Let's ask him also, is that applicable to him or not? Whatever we learned about the Mercury, tell me just few points.
Intellectual, good at communication.
Good at communication. Then it's an young prince. He was very young and active. He wanted to play funny and fun games. Very educated and intelligent. Any other thing? And good in maths, good in maintaining documents. So most of the things we can list out about the Mercury, right? Now we can ask him, okay, are you maintaining the documents very well? Okay, here comes the thing. Now we have to apply the Ketu Dasha also. When you are maintaining the documents, are you facing any kind of a problem, or you feel like you want to leave this document preparation and all? So when you know about the planet, apply that here wherever it is. Then combined with the other aspects. When you heard about the words like Dasha, Buddhi, Antar, little bit intimidating for you, like why, what is a Dasha, what is the Buddhi, what is the Antar? See, it is a planet, see it is a Graha itself. When the Ketu Dasha was happening, Mercury Buddhi was happening, Saturn Antar was happening, how it will be? So consider the situation. Satish was handling any kind of the document preparation. Anyway, the Ketu was Dasha was the Ketu Dasha. It was like whatever it is, let it be. That kind of the mindset the Jataka will have. When the Mercury was in the Buddhinathan works power than the Dashanathan. So the Mercury have a tendency to maintain a document very well. But the Saturn Antar was happening. Saturn was one important thing about a Saturn was delaying the process, very disciplined, very judgmental, and it won't be balanced in the life. So when you ask him any particular situation, it have to be inclined at this three only. You can ask him any question. Okay, let's ask. That is any of the important thing happening in your life. Only one important thing. Anything which is prominent in your life. What is that?
Actually, I was having a land deal going on last year from 23 onwards. 24 almost by October, everything was almost settled. It's only a payment has to be happening. Suddenly, the government is telling me in November, some classification has to be happen to my plot, and so they have to reconsider and relook at the deal they're telling in November. That is the status now.
Okay, now you have the problem in maintaining the documents, right? One or the other way, I modified, simplified the word as the document. It will be the land related one. Anyway, when you drill down, it was only the simple kind of a document in your hand, whether it is telling you it is yours or others.
It is mine only. That issue is not there. Government is classifying that plot as something else, so that has to get changed now. For me to go ahead with the get the proceeds from that.
Is the process is really fast or very slow?
Very slow.
Because the Saturn Antar was happening. When the Saturn Antar was finished, when he entered into the Shukra Dasha, definitely the things will be very much in a different way.
Brighten up. Okay.
But here, that wasn't possibly everybody will think, right? Because it's Shukra Dasha, it will be definitely very fast for him. But then we have to check into his birth chart where his Venus was sitting. The Venus was sitting in the Saturn's house. Is that good for him? Because the Venus and the Saturn are the friend or enemy?
Friends.
Friends only. So is that good for him or not? Possibly good, because it was sitting in a comfortable position. So then you have to see how the Venus was. When the Sukradasha was happening, the people will say, okay, the Sukradasha means it is really a very good thing in his or her life. But you have to see where the Venus was placed in his birth chart. Okay. Okay. At this point, now we considered Ketu, Mercury, and the Saturn only. Okay, let's move on with this. So until here, any doubt? Somebody asking about the Dasha Buddhi Antar also. Don't see that as a very big words. The big words are coming in a way for whenever you're learning any kind of the studies, the big word will represent you on the whole of one small thing. So it was a compressed meaning.
Antardasha is buddhi. Is that correct?
Antardasha?
Is buddhi.
What is that?
Same.
No,
No,
buddhi broken into further 9 parts is Antara.
yes. Dasha is your whatever which is happening. Okay, then if you further dividing into that and Dasha, it gives you the buddhi. Then further dividing into, it will gives you the antar. Okay, literally it was like they considered the Vimshotri Dasha is nothing but how many days in your life which you are living in this planet. They considered they averaged the years into 120 years. So in the 120 years, among based on his date of birth, this is the period which he is living. Okay, in this period, they divided the days into, consider this is the year period. They subdivided that one into the months, then subdivided into a week. Then when you go into the antar, if you see this, you can see the hours also. You can see exactly the minutes also.
Okay. So we take the first three like Ketu, Mercury, Saturn. That's what is important current. That is how we
Yes.
read it.
That is more than enough. You can able to identify when it was happening. So that's why the people will always say when there was anything happening in their life, they go and see the Dasha Buddhi Antar. Why they are going and seeing the Dasha Buddhi Antar? Because your entire lifespan is exactly classified into Dasha Buddhi Antar. So it is in this year of considered you are in the age of 50 years. You separate this 50 dividing the 50 years into number of the parts.
Mm-hmm.
And consider one person was having a lifespan of 70 years. Then at this point in time when the Jataka was asking, it is the year of the 50 years he was living. At this point, when he was asking the question, it was 50 years. Then the Dasha Buddhi Antar will exactly tell you what is Dasha was in the 50 years. And the Buddhi will tell you, okay, in the 50 years, which month it is, and the Antar will tell you which day it is. And if you go inside out of it, it will tell you which hour it is. And if you go inside out of it, it will tell you which minute itself also. We no need to go inside that much. We'll proceed with the Dasha Buddhi Antar. This much is clear?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Vanita, don't mistake me. What I'm requesting is, this Dasha book you get confused. So little, I request you to go little slow, step by step you can tell, because we are just going just through a preliminary we have started today, just seeing the horoscope of a typical horoscope. We are now going, we have come to the stage of Dasha Bhukti. But Dasha Bhukti in detail, we are not knowing anything, blankly nil. So I'm not be able to understand anything about Dasha Bhukti.
Okay, give me a second, I will tell you. Give me a second. I can understand why you're coming.
Because we are not.
I guess I understand.
Nothing we know, not even 1%.
See, this is the day you born. Okay, this is the day when you're seeing the horoscope.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the point where you say this is the zero day of your in this planet. Okay, and this is the day where consider, imagine What is your age, Satish?
It's 59. I think he's going to be 60.
58. Okay, I just want to calculate something. Anybody can give me how many days the 58 years will be? Okay, let's go with the numbers 58 years. Okay, this is the point Satish was having the horoscope. So at this point in your life, he have more life in this lifetime, considered it and to be considered as an infinity now.
Yes.
Okay, in the entire whole period, the Vimshotri Dasha will tell you, okay, the Vimshotri Dasha had an average point. The person which is living in this year will have a 0 day to 120 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he will, the Vimshotri, there are the different type of the dashas also. We don't need to get into that part, but we'll concentrate only on the Vimshotri because somewhat it was relevant with the people's living in this kind of era. So in this 120 years, the Dasha Buddhi Antar will tell you, okay, in this first 17 years, you born on the okay, imagine a situation, you born on the Venus. Okay, Venus Dasha. So the first 18 years will be your Venus Dasha. Then I don't know which, okay, make it very much clear. Wait a second, let's go with this chart only. In a second. It's from Rahu Dasha. T5.
Vanita, I think what we should do is like we should look at the order in which dasha come and the periods of each dasha and
Because
so on. Maybe that will help.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
one.
That will help.
Just for example, you can give. That's nothing else.
No,
Yeah.
I thought I remember like we discussed about the Dasha Budhyantar for 10th. I directly jumping here.
Well,
No, we haven't. We haven't.
we just
Haven't?
went with the number. I think when we discussed the characters of the grahas that we just studied, we are studying. We are up to Venus, right? Right now we are studying Venus in the different houses. So when in the graha properties, you mentioned dasha period is so many years and so on. But it's
I
better
understand,
if we study that in a table, maybe which comes after which,
Yeah.
and then how
Okay, we'll do that.
120 years is divided into different things. It's like Guru Dasha 15, Buddha Dasha 16, and then Rahu Dasha, and then and so on, and then the order also, and then
Now I understand what that.
Shani
Okay.
is 19 years, Shukra is 20 years, and side by side in a chart, and then the order, like what comes after Ketu, and then what comes after Shukra, and so on. If we have it in a chart or like that order, it may be helpful for this discussion that you are doing.
Yeah, I understand.
My suggestion.
When I write this also, I felt like, okay, why we discussed the Dasha Budhyantar. It's in my mind
Yes.
like that. It's my mistake. We'll do
Yes,
that.
no, you are discussing correct. What we chronology, as per chronology, we can follow later on. Since while doing the horoscope, just the Dasha Bhukti came, this topic came. So in detail, we can discuss in later on according to
Definitely. I had an thought like, okay, we discussed the DBA. Okay, it's my mistake. We will do that in a very detailed manner.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Next
No
week
problem.
for sure.
No, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Consider now the situation is now let's assume only the Dasha Budhyantar. Okay, the Ketu Dasha, Mercury Buddhi, and the Saturn Antar. We'll move on into the 9th step. We'll definitely see the Dasha Budhyantar in detail next week itself. Okay, now getting into the Kocharam start handy. Whenever you are asleep, okay, have the Kocharam next to you. Why? Okay, this is the Kocharam. Anyway, I will already prepare him for this. Okay, there are the 3 charts you have to be in your hand.
Need to say the Rashi is the Kocharam chart. Kochara chart.
This is
What
the
is
Kocharam.
Gochar is today's placement of planets.
Today's birth chart is your Janana Jadakam.
Janana Jatakam?
birth chart is it's your horoscope. Gocharam is what is the planetary position for today? Daily
Today.
planetary position. Okay,
Gochar.
this is the Gochar. This is the Gochar.
Okay, Vanita, thank you.
So whenever you are going to see the horoscope, make these 3 charts handy. It will be really helpful when you are moving forward. Most of the time we'll miss something because when you are seeing the grahas in front of you, most of the time your nerve system will work in a different way. Sometimes it is jumbled upon, sometimes it was very straightforward. So make it as very easy whenever you're preparing for the analyze, make the chart in very reachable places, or else you can write it down and make it as easy for comparison. Okay, now this is for his Rasi chart, this is for his Bhava chart. Now the Kocharam is also in handy. Okay, now one thing here, whenever you see the Kocharam, see the Chandra. Okay, now the Kocharam for in today's chart was Chandra in a Dhanush Rasi, and his moon was in the Lagna itself. Okay, here. Now, if you see this one, when the Chandra, Kochara Chandra has an aspect of the Janana Jadagam Chandra, H or no?
Yes.
Okay, here is the Kocharam Chandra, right? And here, okay, I will tell you the very interesting thing here. See, whenever you see this kind of the thing, whatever his mind was thinking when the horoscope is in front of you, whatever his mind was thinking, that is the Chandra will tell you that. The Gochara Chandra will tell you that. And how you can predict when whatever the graha which is in here in your birth chart, that will tell you what is his question in his mind and whatever the aspect also. So maybe he's think about the land, which because the Mars is about the land, and the moon is about something is disturbing his mind. The Jupiter, what are the Jupiter characters you can tell me here? Jupiter is retrograde. We'll ask him what are the questions in his mind. Sometimes if the Chandra was not seeing any of the graha, the Jataka will come without questions. Now the Chandra is aspecting the Lagna itself. So he's having too many questions in his mind for sure. Particularly, it's about the moon, it's about the Jupiter, it's about the Mars. We'll ask him what are the questions. Okay. Anybody want to share any of his viewpoints here? This is if you didn't understand this one point, don't worry, because it will comes on your practice. Why I'm insisting to see the Gocharam again and again. If you see this, I ask you to prepare for the Gocharam for very long time to understand this one point only. When the Chandra was here, I also pinpointed some days you see your mind, you see make sure you check yourself how your mind was working, and mainly concentrated only on the Chandra. There is also intention behind that. Here, whenever you see the Jataka, the Gocharam is going on that particular place, it will definitely tell you what is the question. Okay, we'll ask him, Satish, what are the questions in his mind? We can recheck with him whether we correct or not. Okay, you have any questions in the mind, Satish?
Minus thing that the only thing was I told you about that land deal. I had to close it off and I get the proceeds from them. So that has got stalled. So my thought is when it will get resolved
Okay,
in a favorable.
is there anything relating with the money, right? Is there
Yes,
anything?
money. Yeah, it's money. It's money. Yes.
So it's clearly telling you Mars is about the land or no? Yes or no?
Sorry?
Mars, SIVA is about the land or not?
Yes, yes.
So when you see this is the very first time when you see this a little bit, you won't believe that, because how come the Gocharam Chandra will tell you my intention? Definitely it will tell you, because there is also correlation. Your Janana Jatakam and your Gocharam will have a very great connection, and you will, when you see this again and again, you will get that one point. That's why I ask you to see that Gocharam and your Janana Jatakam again and again, for at least for a day, once in a day. Okay, let's come back to here. So that's why we have to see the Gocharam handy for most of it, all the time. Whenever you see the horoscope, have the Gocharam next to you. Okay. And see the Chandra, you can easily understand. Okay, the Jataka was coming with this kind of the question. Okay. Why we need to see the Jataka? Why we need to see the horoscope? Anyway, the Jataka is going to give me ask me the questions. Why I need to see that? See, when you didn't ask the questions, you go ahead and ask and say him, okay, this is the Dasha Buddhi was happening, you have this kind of the benefit, you Buddhi was happening, you have that kind of the benefit, your Lagna was here, Rashi was here, this, that, whatever you say, he won't get satisfied until he get an answer for this question. Okay, so how come you can understand that question? Based on the Gocharam, you can directly understand what question in his mind or not. You can, for an experiment, you check on yourself. You open your horoscope next to the Gocharam in next to you. Have a question in your mind. Okay, then see that. It will tell you what kind of the question in you. Sometimes, because you had an experiment of doing experiment on ourselves, it won't work because the conscious mind overtook. Instead, what you can do, check with the others, have a question in their mind. That point in time, have the birth chart and the Gocharam handy with you. Then the Gocharam Chandra will tell you the question of the Jataka. Have an experiment, you will find a very, very interesting game here.
That was one of the questions. And the other one is I'm looking for my son prospective brides. It's still going on, pulling along, going on since 3 years. Nothing has been getting fructifying rather. So that is the second major question I have in my mind.
That's awesome. We'll find that also. Why you have that two questions. Okay. At this point in time, let's have the Chandra will have Gochara Chandra will have your questions. Questions of the Jataka. Okay.
Just to be clear, Vanita, so as per Gochara, Chandra is over Mars of the this. So that is why what is going on in the mind will be related to Mars related.
Mars related, anything will come. What is the
It
Mars
could be
related?
document, it could be land, it could be anything related.
It could be the marriage. It could be anything which were relevant with the Mars. Whatever the question.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
how you can guess that? Based on the graha, when the question was coming, you can easily understand which kind of the questions you have to come. Probably when the peoples are coming, some peoples will come only with the different problems, but most of the peoples will come with the generalized one. What I am asking the generalized one, most of the peoples will have the same problem but different angle. There should be the land problem for numerous peoples in the world, but the problem will be different. So when you see, okay, if you have the problem with the land, then your work will be easier, right? So once you have the question in your hand, you can easily find out the solution in your chart itself. Okay, let's get back. Let's move on from here. Once you understand that point, until this point, any questions? So we did the very simple step one. We generated the chart. We had the Lagnam Rasi, we checked with him. Dasha Buddhi Antar, leave it that part. Now exclude that part. We had the Gocharam chart in our hand, a Gocharam Rashi and the Bhavashali. Very simple steps, right? Till now, any doubt?
No.
Okay. Let's move on into the okay. Don't know how many minutes I have. Okay, let's see this only one point at least. Lagnam and Lagnadipati. Let's see about his Lagnam and Lagnadipati. Okay, now you all have to answer for this. Who's the Lagnam here?
Mithuna.
Mithuna Lagna.
Mithuna Lagna. Who's the Lagnadipati?
Mercury.
Okay, here comes the interesting thing. Okay, here the Mercury Lagnadipati is retrograde, and the Lagnam, there are the one Graha was in a normal motion, forward motion. The another Graha was in the retrograde motion. Okay, the Jupiter was in the retrograde motion. Okay, when the Mercury was in the retrograde, what it will do? Because the Lagnadipati itself retrograde. We learn about the Mercury anytime, retrograde also. No? I forgot what I teach you. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Mercury retrograde. Let's ask the Satish itself. when you learn about anything, Satish, how you feel that okay, I'm done with, I'm become an expert in that field. You feel like that, or you feel like, no, my learning is not enough, I have to learn more.
Not enough.
Which
Yeah.
they are not enough, because the Mercury retrograde will do that only. Mercury means you are very intelligent, you have sufficient knowledge in your hand, but you won't accept that, because the retrograde means it goes into the deepest karma of that particular graha. The Mercury will make you to learn many things. Mercury will make you to understand many things. You will be definitely a very intelligent person, but you won't accept that. You're like, no, my intelligence is not enough, I need more. That kind of a tendency will, the Mercury retrograde will give you. Okay. Now the Mithuna, we understand about the Lagnadipati, retrograde Mercury. Lagna is the Mithuna Lagna. Okay. Now here comes the 5 element principle. Anybody remember what is the element of the Mithuna?
Air element.
Air is the element.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One important thing also you have to remember here, the Lagnadipati have owns 2 houses. So one house is the Lagna and the another house is which is
Kanya.
Kanya, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, Shobhi?
Yes.
Okay. So the Mercury, Lagnadipati owns 2 houses. One is the Lagna, another is the 4th house. And the Lagnadipati was sitting in the 6th house. Yes. Yes or no? Until here?
Yes. Yes.
So when the Lagnadipati was sitting in the 6th house, that means it was in the hidden house. Now we'll have to retrospect about the Jataka itself. So it will be reflect the entire qualities of the Jataka. Satish, there is a disclaimer. Whatever we are trying to say from here onwards, it's just for educational purpose. We are really an LKG student.
You can be harsh, no issues.
So whatever if you say very wrong, please forgive us. Okay.
No issues, no issues.
On that
Even I'll
note,
be learning myself.
okay. Let's see about when the Lagnadipati was in the Mithuna. The air is the element, right? Possibly the humorous is a nature of him. This is the base of his quality. Humorous is the base of his quality. The Mercury was a very funny thing. What do we do? Very fun-filled day. If you want to make that every day want to be the fun-filled day. Now here the moon was there when the Lagna moon accompanied with the retrograde Jupiter. So the wisdomful Jupiter was retrograde in addition with the moon. Okay, when the moon was present in the Lagna, anybody remember when the Lagna was in the moon, what that will be?
The person is very emotional at heart, very takes very sensitive.
Any other thing?
I think you said also good looking.
What I said? What I said?
Said very good looking.
Here comes the thing.
And it's
Okay.
also very caring, right? Nurturing and caring.
Nurturing, caring, why it was coming here?
Moon.
Okay, why it was okay when the moon in the first house, possibly it is only good for 3 houses. You remember that point which we discussed very early when we learned about the moon. When the moon in the first house, it will tell you, it will give you the good thing when it was in the Mesha, when it was in the Rishabha, when it was in the Kadaka. If these 3 Rashi was not there, most of the time, other Rashis, except these 3 Rashis, other Rashis, they really difficult to express themselves. They fight inside themselves to express. Most of the time, they don't know how to comprehend anything in front of them also. Is that like that, Satish?
Yeah, very much, ma'am.
In
It's just for a second or a minute, and then afterwards it'll become normal. I can do whatever I want. It's
why
just the
that?
initial spark will be, I'll be stultified. Yeah.
Okay, you remember, you understand why it was happening for you?
I was told because of the moon and Gemini dual nature.
Dual nature, but then how it is possible you can overcome immediately? Even for a moment, you understand that, okay, I'm stuck, but I overcome this. How is that possible?
Maybe because of my ability to think without emotions at that time after that. Initially, I get stuck with emotion, and then I bring down my thinking to practical sense.
But how this is a wonderful word you mentioned. I break down my emotions. I think without the emotions, I overcome that. How is it possible?
Maybe from Mercury?
Because of the Jupiter, because the
Jupiter,
Jupiter
okay.
retrograde was there. The wisdom was coming, and he wonderfully explained, without the emotion, I can overcome that. So the wisdom will come immediately. So all qualities comes in one. When you exclude that Jupiter alone, when you see the moon was in the Mithuna Rasi, he definitely was really difficult to express himself for entire life. But the Jupiter was present. It was a momentarily discomfort. That's it. And he
Yes.
overcome that, and he understand that also. Okay, this is the kind of the pattern I'm behaving. When then the same kind of the moment which is happening, I will be expert in that. How come the expertness will come? Because the Jupiter was in there. The Jupiter will give you the tremendous wisdom, knowingly or unknowingly. And even though you see that, okay, it's a kind when you say something to somebody, they will say, okay, it's a wonderful learning from you. The people will say wonderful learning, but for you it was like I'm doing normal things. Did you face like kind of this stuff?
Yes, very much. And most of the time, yeah.
Because the Jupiter will
Moon in first house also says very aggressive, impulsive, angry.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'm coming to that. How much you are how much you are impulsive.
When
No.
you say you can't express yourself, it means you can't put your thoughts in the front. I mean, you can't put your feelings into words. Is that what you are trying to say?
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes the speech, sometimes the action, everything comes together.
Okay.
See, there are the situations the people will face when they have all kind of the words inside them, but it won't come out of their mouth. Their imagination in their mind, they know what to do, but they can't execute.
I think sometimes it's because you're too intelligent also. You have every answer, but it's coming so quickly that you can't put it across.
But the moon, because of the moon was speed effect, it may not be inclined with your energy. That kind of the difficulty will come.
Vanita, is it because Mercury is in sixth house that he's not able to communicate freely? No.
Moon is in the Mercury in the sixth house will come to that later. But that is the different story altogether, because your Lagnadipati was in the sixth house. That's not a good sign. That's why the impulsiveness, the aggressive will go in a tremendous way. See, when a moon in the first house, the impulsive will be not that much very great. Impulsive will be, they will be definitely impulsive, but the weakly impulsive. But when the Mercury was in the sixth house, it was in the hidden. We have to check with him how the impulsiveness will be. It was very aggressive, or it was
Jupiter is aspecting the first house, so the aggressiveness can come from there, right?
which one was expecting Mars? Oh, okay, wait. Mars was aspecting, but the Jupiter was there. There's a kind of Jupiter when the Mars was aspecting the Jupiter, Mars is also aspecting the Moon. The aggressiveness will be there, but here comes the interesting thing. The Mars was aspecting, two grahas was there, but the place which is given by the graha, which was not in the good place, it was in the hidden location. Now we have to check with him. How is your impulsiveness or aggressiveness? You are very much aggressive, or your mind, okay, in a scale of 1 to 10, how much your aggressiveness will be?
I'm aggressive probably up to 7.7, 7 out of 10. But if the situation is so that my intelligence has to be used, then my wisdom comes in. I don't know, somehow it comes in. I hold back.
Okay, so the nature will be there, but you definitely will,
Yeah.
there is a possibility of impulsiveness will be there, aggressiveness will be there because the Mars was expecting you. Mars was expecting the Lagna. No matter what, you definitely the aggressive energy will be there because that kind of the tremendous energy the Jataka going to hold. And interestingly, here the Jupiter is also sitting, and that was retrograde. When the retrograde, okay, one more important thing about the Jupiter was when the wisdom was coming in, if you feel that that was also not enough for you, even though you teach n number of the people, you won't be fulfilled, you won't be satisfied. See, I saw the number of the my mother was a teacher. So he had 30 years of experience. So I had a chance to meet other teachers also. They won't be satisfied even though they had the 30 years of experience, 20 years of experience. They didn't feel that kind of the satisfaction in their teaching. They want to teach more. Even if you ask my mother to teach now, she was happy to teach that because that kind of the energy they are holding.
Yes, yes, very much. Yes.
So how about you? You
It's the
feel
same
like
thing. I always have the thirst for knowledge and all those things and get teaching also.
yeah, that will come for sure. Because that Jupiter will exactly telling you that kind of an energy. Okay. Anybody want to add anything to this point? Because we have to see so many things. We stop it for here because I have to finish the three more bhavas for the Venus. We'll continue the same Jatagam until we finish the Jatagam. Is that okay?
Okay.
Vanita,
I don't know. It's up to you or the other people also.
Sure, it's fine.
Vinita, I was just saying, since this study takes more time and it's very interesting and we need to learn, maybe we can, if you have time, keep an extra or something. I mean, whenever you have
Do have a
time, that
time,
would.
but some weeks I didn't have a time. Exactly for today, I really don't have a time.
No, I don't
Definitely
mean today.
trying to
I don't
extend
mean
my
today.
hours.
I mean, whenever you have some time, maybe a half an hour extra, it would help us. I don't know how the others feel.
Don't worry. Whatever I plan to teach, I will plan. I definitely will teach no matter what happens. Even if I want to extend my hours, I don't mind to extend. But once I set the thing in front of me, particularly in the teaching, I will do that for sure. So don't worry about that. I definitely handle it.
It is always 90 minutes class with Vanita ma'am. So we are all used to it and we also enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Then will I stop it here? If you have any doubts also, make a note of it. We will definitely dig into more out of it. Because we already gave a disclaimer to Satish, so we are free to go. Even if it was wrong, also we'll check with him and correct ourselves. Okay?
Vanita, next class, because in his bhava, the Jupiter has gone to 12th house. So how does that influence is my question.
Okay, have that question. Please remind me next week for sure. I will tell you that in very great detail. Okay, because anyway we have to see the Bhav in parallel. That one point will definitely tell you that. Okay, please make that question. Note that question for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I stop it here. If you have any questions, please make note of it. We'll definitely discuss next week. Okay. I skip this point. Then
Vanita, one small request. What happened? If we go by step, now we are started with today only with starting from horoscope, how to deal with this everything, Lagnadipati, everything. Like that, if one by one the effect of each Lagna, like the one by one we can go, then go to the last Dasha Bhukti. It is like chronological way. That is good, no? It is. I felt a bit hurried today.
anyway, I'm going to go with the 1 to 12 Babas only. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
You
Because
will, at the end of the day, you will find when you finish the Satish horoscope, will understand, okay, how you can make out of it from your Jatak. Don't worry.
okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I skipped the revision part of the Venus for today, for this week. I directly jumping into, I believe everybody was revised at least once in a week. Let's move into the Venus in the 10th house. Okay. When the Venus in the 10th house, mostly when the Venus was present in the 1 to 12 houses, except the 6th and the 8th one. 6 is also okay. 12 is very good for Venus. But mostly we can, when the Venus was sitting in any of the bhavas, we'll see it as a very good one. Okay. Now, when the Venus was sitting in the 10th house, that is the Upachayasthan. What is the Upachayasthan? When anyway it was going to increase auspiciousness in your lifetime. Okay. Now the Venus was in the 10th house. Venus, we already know what is that. The Venus is for the beauty. Venus is for the art and culture. Any kind of the decoration in your life, when you are having an very extra large building or a very super, okay, that when you see the car, the Mars energy will come. But when you decorate that car with any kind of very beautiful things or beautifying that object, then the Venus energy will come into the picture. So it's about the sex. It's about beauty and the young girls, young women. So all together we know what is the Venus energies. So that kind of the Venus energy will coming into sit in the 10th house. What is the 10th house? 10th house is your professional life. Professional life, if you are going to start a business, if you're going to start a career for your own. So that's the 10th house clearly telling you. What is that? In other words, how the world was seeing you. That is also 10th house. So when this 10th house, and it's also a Pachayasthana, then the Venus was sitting there, it was too much good auspiciousness was increased. Okay, at this point in time. When any of the Jatakas who he or she was having the Venus in the 10th house, definitely exhibited the craftsmanship in any profession they are working. Even they are designing handkerchief, even they are designing designer clothes, whoever it is, they do wonderful in their craftsmanship. No one can beat them, or they're like an 1,000 in 1 people's kind of the talent they will have. Is they are kind of the persons they exhibit, they hold their talent at themselves? No, definitely they exhibit the talent. Here is an interesting thing. Why? A number of the people have the talent, but none of them have an intention to show to others. But when the Venus was in the 10th house, the talent was there, and they have an intention and they have an ability to show to others also. So when the Venus, when the 10th house combined together, it exhibits the talent, it exhibits the craftsmanship to the entire universe. That kind of the personality the Jataka will be. Okay, mostly when the Venus was comes into the picture, art, culture, design, decoration is another word for the Venus. So everything comes here. So if you see anything beautiful in front of you, okay, when you see the mirror is a sun, but when it was decorated, it becomes a Venus energy. Venus energy is also added. So when these peoples in the 10th house peoples, if they are entering into the media field or TV, or particularly for the fabric design and all the clothes for the Venus energy will be there. But when these people, when the 10th house people are involving in the cloth business or fabric business, or they're designing, they are involved in the textile industry, or interestingly, they are into the textile softwares. Okay, there is an interesting industry altogether. But here you need, when the software comes into the picture, you need the Rahu's energy as well. We'll see that later. But at this point, textile, if you want to succeed in the textile, Venus energy is highly needed. The dentistry, plastic surgery, and dealing with the females particularly. Feminine products, mostly, okay, this is the one important thing I forgot to mention in all the way. All kind of the perfumes, if you, any kind of the good smell, which is come, if you derive the essential oil, if you derive the perfume from the nature, or it's a perfume was derived from the chemicals combination, whatever it is, if it was giving you a beautiful smell, interesting smell, fascinating smell, then consider all perfumes is a Venus energy. And particularly jewelry. Particularly jewelry is in a silver jewelry, the Venus energy is highly imbibed in it. When you want to increase the Venus energy in your day-to-day life, the peoples will eat in a silver plate or drink the water in a silver tumbler if they want to increase the Venus energy. Is that the only way? No, you can do the meditation. you can pray to the god who's well decorated, the Ambal who's well decorated. When you go and take a prayer to that kind of the temples, that is also gives the Venus energy environment to you. Okay. Why, when you are going into the temple, go to the temple which is beautifully decorated Ambal. That means the Ambal should be very, very beautifully decorated. That kind of the temple, Venus energy was highly, highly in it. For example, if in the Meenakshi, Madurai Meenakshi is for the Mercury energy. The entire Madurai is also a Mercury energy, particularly the Meenakshi temple. The peoples who have the weak Mercury, when they are getting into the Meenakshi temple, the energy level you can easily feel that the energy level you will receive from that kind of the platform. So same goes for the Venus. When you're getting into the temple where the Ambal was decorated very beautifully, the goddess was decorated very beautifully, but the goddess should be in a very peaceful god, not like kind of Kali kind of goddess. Go with the goddess which is peaceful but very well decorated. Right? When you're going into the Lalitambika, or Balambika was very kid. But when you're going into the Lalitambika, when it was well decorated, then you can getting into the good energy of the Venus in it. Okay. And the taxi kind of a thing. When these people, when the Venus peoples want to touch something, they want to be exhibit to the world in a very, very different way. They don't want to go into the taxi. If they want to take a taxi also, they going into the extravagant car. So that kind of the Venus in the 10th house. Mostly it was really a good house for the professions who dealing with this kind of the Venus related energy. When one Jataka was having a Venus in the 10th house, and their profession is particularly involved in the Venus energy, they definitely succeed. There is no question about it. Any questions?
Vanita, you mentioned temples with very well decorated deities. So
Hmm.
deity can be female deity or male deity, irrespective.
No, female deity. Venus
Only.
energy, female decorative goddess, but the goddess should be in a peaceful pose. Like when you go into, I couldn't remember any of the Venus related temple. My mind was only thinking about the Lalitambika. Because when you enter into the Lalitambika temple itself, it was like the goddess will be when it was decorated, your mind will goes away. And the smile, you can literally see it for all day long.
Where is
that
Lalitambika
Where
temple?
is that Lalitambika temple? Oh, sorry, you asked already.
Oh my God, I forgot it. Okay, give me a second. You can Google it. There was only one Lalitambika temple in Tamil Nadu. Forgot the name.
Okay, we can get it when it comes.
Give me a second. It was really interesting temple. In Tamil Nadu, Tirumichu. Tirumechu or Tirumichu. Most of the people here, they will say Tirumichu.
Tirumichu, okay.
Yeah. When it was in Tamil, it was a Tirumechu, but the people will colloquially will say Tirumichu. Tirumechu, whatever it is. But that temple was very beautiful. It was a very vast temple, was sufficiently vast temple. You will definitely enjoy that energy. But I'm not sure that was a Venus energy, but I feel like it was a very well decorated Ambal.
Vanita, usually for Shukra, we say Pattishwaram Durga temple.
What temple it is?
There is a Durga temple for Shukra in Pattishwaram near Kumbhakonam.
Pattishwaram. That is
Yeah.
also good. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that Durga is about close to 6 feet tall.
That's what I'm saying. When the goddess was very well decorated, but my mind was, I don't know why it was going to Raitambuga. When very well decorated goddess, the Venus energy will come on its own. But when particularly there was a Shukran temple will be there. Why we need to go to that kind of the temple, because when the peoples who built the temple in such a way, they design in such a way the Venus energy will be there for some amount of the time. When the peoples are coming and going out of the temple, they design in such a way that the Venus energy will be there for at least when the peoples are going in and out. Okay, let's moving into the 11th house. Okay, here the Venus in the 11th house, it's again a very super good place for Venus. Mostly when the Venus, we already know about it. What is Venus? When the 11th house represents your all kind of the fulfillment of your desires. You may have the desire in any period in your life or any phase of your life. That kind of any kind of the fulfillment of your desires, your profits and gains, particularly your cash flows, that represents your 11th house. Now the Venus was placing in it, a very auspicious planet. Venus was placing in the 11th house. That too, it becomes the Upachayasthan. Then your time starts now. It was like that. When the Venus was in the 11th house, then the Dashapati was happening on the Venus. Then you are in a very good way to go. These people are extremely lucky, no matter what, extremely lucky. They're lucky in everything in their life. Whatever it is, if they are going for a study, if there is a marriage in their life, their kids, their family, their background, whatever it is, they will find lucky only. That kind of a wonderful place for a Venus. They always have an easy gain also, because when the Venus was in the 11th house, it increased auspicious energy. Okay, if you want to gain, if you want to achieve the profits in your life, okay, here we go. The cosmic energy will give you that kind of energy you gain in your life, and the liquid wealth and assets is also increased. You definitely will have the properties and vehicles altogether, and the life will be very extravagant. Like mostly it will be luxury. These people also have a tendency to accumulate the wealth. They know how to preserve also. They know how to accumulate wealth also. So altogether, the Venus in the 11th house is a superstar in your life. Like it's a super lucky in your life. Anybody having the Venus in the 11th house?
I do have it, but not a great example, because I have Saturn and Mercury and Sun.
Wait, one minute. If you see it was not doing anything, then that is the good one we have to learn. Okay, what is your Lagna?
Kanya Lagna,
Venus in 11th house.
11th house, which is Kataka.
Okay, along with
Saturn, Mercury,
okay.
Sun. So basically, all are combust.
Or everybody was combust. Venus
Yep.
also.
Yep.
Oh, this one I forgot to tell you. Okay. When the okay, here is a very good example. When the Venus was the combust, when the Sun, then here the Sun was took over. When the Sun plays the 11th house. So Venus, the extremely lucky, maybe he have a lucky in some point in his life, but the extreme lucky will be eliminated. He may have a gain in his life, definitely he may gain profit also, but it won't be easy. That one point will be come out in his life. He may have the liquid wealth, but it won't be an easiest way. The accumulation of the wealth for the 11th house Venus alone will be easy, but he can accumulate the wealth, but the accumulation wealth is not a cakewalk. He have to be struggle a lot to acquire the wealth in his hand. Which one is correct for you?
Yeah, all are correct. So whatever is in the PPT is not correct. Whatever you said verbally is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is easy. Nothing comes through. So
yeah, this one word was taken by when the Venus was combusted. You may see that, okay, this is only one word when the Venus was combusted. No, that says you everything. When the Venus was alone in the 11th house, you were extremely lucky. But when that you definitely will be lucky. Still, you will be lucky. But the extremeness will be good. But the easiest way will go. Okay. This was really a good combination. We will see that any point in time in our class later.
If Venus was retro, then what was it? How would it be?
Venus was retrograde means okay, when the Venus was retrograde, they have all kind of the luxuries in their life. Whatever they wanted, they have the vehicle, they have the property, they have whatever it is, all kind of the luxuries they have. But when the Venus was in the retrograde means they feel like they still won't go. The luxury was not enough. When they're trying to decorate something, the decoration was not enough for them. When they beautifying themselves, they are literally beautiful. You no need to touch anything. You don't need to touch their simple thing in their face. But when the Venus was retrograde, they feel like, okay, I want to put this one, I want to put that one. I'm not feeling good. I'm not projecting myself as a beautiful person.
Okay.
That kind of
But
a
they have
tendency.
everything. They
They are
get all
beautiful.
the.
They are definitely beautiful, but the retrograde tendency it increased that quality. Okay, what I'm trying to say here was the Venus quality is beautified. When it was retrograde, it will tell you, okay, I need to increase my beauty. You were deeper into that.
Okay. And
Okay.
combust will make it lesser.
Combust will
There
make it less. In another words, in the practically, if you want to say, it will eliminate everything. Mostly, it will eliminate everything. When the combust was happening, whatever the characteristic of the particular planet, it will take away, and the sun was replaced here. Okay, then you will say, well, Vanita was sun. What is the wrong in it? When the sun was replaced, I'm good with that. But what is the problem? Because when the sun was placed in a when the sun was placed among with the other planets, when the combination was increased, but that inauspiciousness was increased. Sun itself an inauspicious planet. When the inauspicious was again increased, then that leads you to tragedy in your life. Okay. Okay, let's again. I'm moving into the 12th house now. Okay, the 12th house, most of the planets, as I told you, the 12th house is not good. The 12th house is not good.
Last question. If there is no Venus at all in any of the houses in a chart, what does it imply?
What is it? Any of the house? What is it?
There is no Venus at all in any of the houses in a chart.
No,
What
that
does
won't happen. That won't happen for sure. Definitely, you have the Navagraha in your chart.
No, they have a chart in front of me which has no Shukra at all, no Venus at all anywhere.
That's not a correct.
But that's not possible.
It's not a correct chart.
You tell me. You tell me the date of birth, time of birth, place of birth. I'll tell you where the Venus is.
Okay. 2nd August 1965. Bangalore.
We'll take it after the class. I mean, I think there is a problem there.
Yeah,
You know, that Jataka is not good. Correct. Yeah.
You want me to try? You can try.
No, you can try. I mean, I have
Give me a second.
connecting on the.
Male or female? Male or female?
Sorry?
Male or female? The person which you are going to say.
Male.
Okay. And the date of birth?
2nd August 65.
August.
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 Okay. Time?
Time 16:30. 35. 16:35.
1635, right?
35, I think.
Yeah. Place of which state is?
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Bangalore, Karnataka.
It should be in the.
Oh, Venus was in the 11th
Leo.
house.
Leo.
Oh, no. I don't know. Venus was in the
Ninth house.
Yeah, 9th house.
But why in the chart it is not indicated?
Which chart is not?
No, I have a copy of a chart. I have collected few copies of the chart for this class. In this, there is no Shukra show. I mean, there is no Venus written in the chart.
Really?
I think
They would have
whoever
missed
wrote
it.
the chart
They may have
missed
missed
out.
it.
That's all.
They would have
missed
missed out.
Mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much.
Buddha
Okay.
and Shukra are in the 9th house for that.
Definitely, there are a few things you can verify your chart is correct or not. Navagraha should be present because
Okay.
most of the softwares, the calculation is based on the Navagrahas only, so you won't miss any of the data. The Navagrahas will be present. Okay. The next thing, the Rahu, wherever it is, the Ketu have to be in the seventh.
Opposite
If
house.
if that was not in your any of your birth chart, don't put effort to see the chart itself. It's not correct.
Mm.
Okay.
That's the right copy then. Okay.
Okay. Now the Venus in the 12th house. It was a super good one. In the 12th house, we already know it was Aina Saina Borum. Any kind of the pleasure, any sleeping habit, everything comes, any kind of the pleasure, it comes in the 12th house. So that 12th house, the Venus was present in it. So Venus is 12th house is also for the expense. This kind of the energy the Venus was placed. The Venus feels very good because it was it won't be imbibe into the energy of the restfulness and kind of a stuff. But what is the point? What is the negative here? The heavy expenses. He had an intention, he had a habit of doing the heavy expense, knowingly or unknowingly. Even he don't want to spend also, it will come to him. That's a heavy expenses. High possibility, 100% possibility, they will definitely travel in the foreign lands. Okay, how is that possible? When the Dashabudhi was happening, the Venus in the 12th house, there is a super possibility they definitely get into the foreign land. Okay, when you see this kind of the foreign land means the place which you not born, or at least in the foreign land, the meaning was quite different from scripture to scripture. The peoples will say if you try to cross the sea, then that considered as a foreign land. If you move from one nation where your birth nation to another nation, that considered as a foreign land. It depends upon the thing which we understand. At that point in time, when this kind of a scriptures was writing, even for getting into a district to district itself, very, very, very tough for them. They have to walk, they have to go by a horse, something like that. So the distance will be different. So now we consider in the measurement itself, we consider the foreign land as a foreign land. Okay, don't complicate the things, but they have the higher tendency, they have higher possibility. Travel in the foreign land is possibility high. Because the Venus is also a guru, and when 12th house is the Mokshasthana, when that kind of the guru was placed in the 12th house, this is the high possibility. They give rise to the spiritual leaders. Then they have this is the one house which will tell you about the writers in the 12th house because their energy level was really high. And the physicians who want to help people and healing people. When the 12th house Venus, you see the people, any of the doctors who's having the Venus in the 12th house, even if they touch the other people's, they had their possibility of healing is really high. If you see any of the healers, if they don't do anything, they touch the other people, they heal immediately. How is that possible? Here is an interesting thing. The healing energy of the Venus was in the 12th house. When they had an intention, the healing energy from them will go into another person very easily without having any obstacle. Okay. Possibly these peoples are philanthropic in nature. It is inbuilt quality for them. When the Venus was in the 12th house, it's a super good. Not only for them, it for others also. When the Venus was in the 12th house. Anybody who's having Venus in the 12th house?
I have an example, but that's for a 17-year-old kid, but he's a writer already. He has published a book.
Wow. Do you have any idea when he was published, on which dasha it was published? In his...
It was this year, so just a minute. He's running Jupiter Dasha.
Oh,
Jupiter Dasha, Venus Bhukti, Antardasha.
which lagna is?
Kanya Lagna and
Okay.
Venus is in 12th.
12th house.
Venus is in 12 with Saturn and Ketu.
In the 12th house.
Hmm.
Saturn and the Ketu. Okay. He tried to write the book very early in his age, but he finished now only, or how is it?
No, he wrote his book last year and he published it this year.
It's about a spiritual thing.
No, money. It's about money.
It's about money. Ah, I see. Oh, this combination was giving money. Okay, one thing about the Kanni Lagna people is their mindset is, okay, you see this horoscope and you test this one also. The people who have in the Kanni Rasi itself, any graha was present, they think in such a way that, okay, I do this, what kind of the benefit which I have. That is the Kanni Lagna peoples will do.
And the sun is in the Lagna.
Oh. No, then he become very generous. Is that correct?
Very?
If he become very generous in nature, not thinking like.
Yeah, he's a 17-year-old, so I don't know. Maybe in as he grows, he probably will become generous. He's
Oh,
still on dad's money, so once he starts earning, probably he'll become generous.
yeah. But when you see this as an experiment also, when the Kanni Rasi, you have the Graha in it, that people will think in such a way that, okay, I do this, what kind of the benefit which I'm going to acquire? If I did this, how I compensated for that? Their mindset will be like that. Even though if you have any Graha in it, you check the people's, they definitely say yes.
You mean to say that it's money-minded?
Oh, you can say it is a money-minded also, because why I didn't use the money-minded word. They think that not only think about the money in their mind, they want to compensate that effort in every other way. See, for example, if you're doing some work and they want to get from them, but they don't want to get disturbed. Consider the situations they are helping others. Okay. The one thing they are expecting is, if I'm going to help you, what kind of the benefit I'm going to acquire from you? It's not only the money. Okay, now I'm going to help you. What kind of the help which I'm going to get from you? But at
including
least,
fame, famous, you know, to
yeah,
become famous,
exactly.
whatever.
Not only the money. The money is also the part. I'm not saying the money is not. Money is the part of it, but not only the money.
How do they reciprocate for my work or my help?
Yeah. They always think in that way. It's not their problem, it is their manufacturing defect. They knowingly or unknowingly, they think that way.
Venkat applies to you too.
What is it?
It applies to Venkat too, because he said he is also Kanya Lagna.
Yeah,
Kanya.
I'm also Kanya Lagna. But I don't have any planet in my Lagna, so.
No, I'm not saying only the Lagna. The Kanni Lagna will people always think that the business thinking will be there. But any of the graha which is present in the Kanni Rasi itself, in your horoscope, it can be the any bhava. Even it was first to 1 to 12, the Kanni Rashi is having any kind of the graha in it. These people will think that way. At least the one of the habit, their nature will be like that. Try and see that if any of the people who's having the any graha in the Kanni Rasi, ask them. You just watch them over, observe them, you will find out. It's not a good and bad. It's the inbuilt thing. Okay, I stop it here.
Okay.
Any questions?
I have one question. If you can go to the Gochara chart, I want to ask you one. You mentioned that Karna is Taitila, so that's the very good Karna, isn't it? So you take blessings from teachers, and is this that period?
That was a Saubhagya Karan.
Oh.
Wait a second. That was not the Taitila. That Saubhagya will come, then Saubhagya Yogam, then the Karana will be, I forgot. I will tell you that. I forgot
Okay,
that.
ma'am. Okay.
But the Karana will be the Saubhagya Yogam will be Saubhagya Yogam. But I thought to give you the list this week itself, but I didn't find the time.
Yeah, you have mentioned it is Saubhagya Yogam.
Yeah, Yogam will
And
be Saubhagya.
Yeah, that's what I think. When
Bhava
did you
Karana,
mention?
if I'm not wrong, Saubhagya, yes, Saubhagya Bhava. Bhava Karana, Yogam is a
Bhava and Saubhagya Yogam.
Yeah, that won't come in all the days. It will come in 4 days in a year at least.
Yeah,
I will
because
find
you have
the
messaged on 2nd of November 2024 as a day.
Yes, yeah.
But for this year, it will come Saubhagya Yogam plus the Bhava Karana. So okay, one interesting thing about that one also, if you're born in the Bhava Karana and you do this Saubhagya Bhava, get blessing from the elders on particularly this day, you have the tremendous blessing for in your futures also. But then you may ask, okay, I'm not born on the Bhava Karana, can I do that? Definitely go ahead and do it. It will do the same benefit. But the people who born on the Bhava Karana, they acquire the same benefits in the triple and at least double times.
Okay.
I just have one question for Satish.
Yes.
Does anyone have told you that sun is your main deity? You know, like you worship sun?
Me.
Surya, Ravi. You know, has anybody told you? Any astrologer told you to
No, sir.
worship
Nobody has
sun?
told me, but only Lord Vishnu and Mahalakshmi, they told me.
Okay. Well, you know, sun influences you a lot, so
I see.
you may want to just look at sun in the morning and
Okay, then I'll
pray
do it.
if you can.
I was told.
How can you say that? Influence of any particular planet?
I think he's Atma Karaka.
Oh.
So he's the one
My
he's
Mars is
leading.
Atma Karaka, sir. I think Mars is my Atma Karaka.
I don't think so. I just 65 December 10th. I just put the chart. 65.
Mars is Atma Karaka.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me also Mars is Atma Karaka. 26.
For me also. That's
And it's
Atma Karaka.
and my Navam's also the same. So it's Vargotama for me, Mars.
No.
Sun is Amatya Karaka.
Amatya Karaka. Yeah, 24 degree.
Mm.
But you will get the same benefit because it was 2 degree difference only.
Oh.
Whether you won't get benefit because the sun is in the sixth house.
Yeah, sun is Amatya. Sorry. I just looked at Atma Karaka. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, I just good job. Yeah, you may want to go to Angaraka temple somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Which god
One
your
in
mind will
Kumbakonam.
go? Which god your mind will goes to? Or you feel like, okay, when I pray to this Lord and He is my everything. Which god your
Actually,
mind
I
goes
was
to?
first during my younger days, it was Lord Vinayaka. Then it got changed to Bala Tripura Sundari. Now it is Varahi Amman.
Because the Mars is an Atma Karaka, obviously you will ended up with like that only. Bala Tripura Sundari. Okay, yeah, it's a correct combination. Okay, we will see that the temples which the god which your mind will goes also. Most of the time, it differs from your different years in your ages in your life also. Sometimes you feel that Vinayagar is everything for me. Sometimes you feel like Kartika is everything for me.
Yes,
Then one point in time, you feel like okay, Shivan is everything for me.
Yes, very much.
I was not able to find anything for Rahu as Atma Karaka anywhere. So what is the deity for Rahu as Atma Karaka?
Rahu is the Atma Karaka.
Because I have Rahu as my Atma Karaka. So
Oh, really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
good.
You should ask, Sarvanan and maybe the other Venkat. Nakshatra
he
Sukta.
did not answer that question. So
Nakshatra Sukta will tell you the deity. Let me refer to it and I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
For Ketu, I know it is Nirruti.
Nairuti.
It's Vedic god. Vedic
Hmm.
gods. So
It
for
comes in
Rahu
Vastu also, it
and-
comes in, no? Nairuti.
For which one?
Vastu.
Yeah, that is the direction. Yeah. Actually, Nairitya is southwest, I think.
Hmm.
So, or northwest, I think. Yeah, northwest.
Okay, I stop
Okay.
here.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll have the we'll have the same discussion next week. Okay.
Okay.
See you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Thank you
Vanita.
all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.